All right, everyone. My name is Pascal Borel, and I'm talking to you from the Swiss mountains. You've seen that the environment has changed. It's been snowing. It's the first snow of the year. And we were on a summit a few days ago, all the way up there, which was totally dry, no snow, nothing at all. And now it's a mild snow. It has melted, and I take the opportunity to just show you the scenery. I'll do that on a regular basis now, so that it's a bit exotic even for you to watch the Dent du Midi at the back. It's melted already on the trees, and you have a chain, and the Mont Blanc, which is a bit further on my right-hand side. Good. Today, I'm going to come back on what I was telling you about Trump and the Damocles sword, which is hanging above Trump's administration and Trump's head in particular. I'm going to address it in a slightly different way because I'd like to tell you about the balance of money flows between the people and the state. Because the money flows by themselves, they represent 90% of the problems that we have to manage today. And let me give you a quick analogy so you understand my point. Of all the commodities traded on Earth, 90% of the volume of those trades is centralized into petrol, gas, charcoal. All the rest, copper, iron, aluminium, gold, wood, concrete, rare earth, all the rest accounts for less than 10% than energy. Meaning that if you're a commodity trading fund manager, if you don't have an allocation of 90% in petrol, gas, charcoal, you're kind of out of the market. It may seem crazy, but it is by far what counts the most on Earth: energy. When it comes to the problems that we have with democracies today, you have to understand that it is 90% of the problem is the money flows and the balance of money flows between people and their government. It may seem crazy, but it is a fact. The unlimited access to your money makes sure that your government can suggest unlimited war to you. They have unlimited control because you give them a power that they would never have if you didn't, by legal means and constitutional means, give them this power. Little cloud at the moment, as you may see. So re-establishing the balance is at the heart of your concerns. And we need to do it from a constitutional point of view. Because thinking that the politician is going to re-establish the power, the balance of money flows, yet, abdicating some of their power just on behalf of the fact that it is in the interest of the people, is a bit like hoping for the turkey to prepare a Thanksgiving meal. Are you out of your mind? Do you think it's going to work? No, it's going to have to come from you, and you alone. You need to impose it in a benevolent way so that politicians regain the pride of public service. They do what is right not only for them, but for you, the people, the citizens. And this is what we're going to put in place together. So, a constitution is there to defend the people against their government. It is clear it doesn't go the opposite way. And a constitution must contain the gatekeepers which are making sure that at all time the government remains at your service. And one of the major things, again, the balance of money flows. Because if you give a small number of people the ability to create money at will, as is the case today through the central banks, of course they're going to use this power. And they're going to use this power at your expense. Because each time they print money, well, they reduce the value of your savings. And they're basically stealing your assets without even having to send you a tax bill. You can't do anything, and you think it's there to stay. You haven't been accustomed to another reasoning but what you have been imposed since, I'd say, the early 1800s. It's crazy. So we have to rewrite the constitutions, but not, rewrite them in the service of the state. We need to rewrite the constitution in the service of the people. And therefore, it is necessary to have, I would say, the common citizens writing those constitutions, and they need to be drawn by lot. Why? Because it's not a matter of the most, I would say, educated among us. No, it is a matter of the people, because at the deep down of your soul, you know what is good for you, what is bad for you. And if you drone the people by lot, well, you're going to have a real representation of all the people. You'll have the same number of men and women. You'll have the same number of old and young, rich and poor, religious, non-religious, and so on. And it needs to be following what I've actually described in my book 2024, that you will find in paper format on Amazon, or if you prefer to read it through Kindle or through on our website, it's very well presented. It's totally free, by the way. And go on the website www.4ovet24.com. And you'll find the most basic principle on establishing a constitution that has a future, that protects people. Because the only people that are putting democracies at risk are the people which are in charge, the government. It is not you, it is not the people. No, it's the people administrating governments which are putting democracies at risk. And this is why we need to re-establish a balance of money flows between the people and the government. And the first thing to do is establish what is the percentage of wealth a government is entitled to receive from all the economic actors of the nation in order to perform their duty at the service of the only sovereign, the people. The people. So, and that should be 17%. It's been demonstrated, it's been calculated by a whole range of economists, of bankers, of big managers. The state is entitled to 17% of all wealth created by the nation, every economic actor of the nation, in order to perform its duty. No more. And then you impose upon the citizens by the Constitution an individual solidarity saving for education, health, and retirement. And if you do that, you re-establish a balance of money flows between the different people. And there is no centralization of huge budgets in the hands of a very few people, which of course are going to abuse it. Probably, if you had the opportunity to abuse it, or to be in the strategic position in order to, fill your pocket, well, of course you'd do it. I probably would as well. It's what I've done at an earlier stage of my life, and this is not what I'm most proud of, but voila, we're all the same. We are genetically programmed that way. So anyway, central banks have to disappear. They are completely anti-constitutional. Again, you'll find it in my book, 2024. I've explained all the process, how they were born, and why should they disappear. Because having this power to print money at will, without working and generating the value that supports the value of this newly created money, is completely anti-constitutional. It's just a fact. Voila. One more thing. Money is a service given by the state to the people. It is in order to exchange knowledge, goods, and services. It is by no means the ownership of the state. No, money is a service created by the state for the people, not for the state, for the citizens, for the economic actors of the nation. It is so simple to understand, and we need to revert to this frame of mind so that once more government are serving the people. They're only sovereign, not themselves. And in life, you know, well, you shouldn't be afraid of that. You, the citizen, you are the sole master, not only of your life, but of your destiny. Without you, without the value of your work, governments are worth zero. They're worth nothing. They don't create. They are cost centers. You are you generate value. They are cost centers. You are a profit center. But this value should remain with you. And if you define the state budgets once and for all, you're giving 17% to the state, 9% education, your solidarity saving, 9% 9% education, 9% your health, and 5% your retirement, and you are obliged from a constitutional point of view to do this solidarity saving, it remains yours at all time, you still keep 60% of your purchasing power. If you do that, you reboost the real economy in a crazy way. Of course it's going to work. Anyway, I just want to come back on the Damocles sword which is hanging above Donald Trump's head today. You have to understand that the Democrats, although I hate to call them Democrats, Republicans, and so forth, because they are the same bunch, basically. They're just fighting each other in a way which is understandable by the larger number and the medias. They are burning the house just before Trump takes into office. And it's a bit like Napoleon and the Russians, which burned Moscow completely, so to the ground, so that the French army entering Moscow couldn't rehabilitate themselves. They couldn't. They found nothing. They had conquered a pile of ashes, and this is exactly what the Democrats are doing versus just to impeach Trump, to stop Trump from being able to perform what he wants to perform on behalf of the people, of the U.S. citizens. And the Democrats are just, signing executive orders, president executive orders, in order to build new weapon factories in Ukraine. Check it out. They are basically allocating the last $6 billion that Donald Trump wanted to allocate to the homeless, to the the veterans and the people. Well, of course, the U.S. has been at war for so long. Of course, they have plenty of people to take care of. It goes so far that even the mercenaries, which have the U.S. mercenaries, you had English mercenaries, Italian, French, and so forth, but the U.S. mercenaries, which have been killed on the battlefield in Ukraine, how do you expect, of course they had to send mercenaries there, because how would you expect that the poor Ukrainian can deal with sophisticated weapons such as F-16, Abrams tanks, which are, driven by turbines. So of course it's super powerful, it's great, but it's super fragile. It requires so much maintenance. It's mind-boggling. So anyway, long story short, the U.S. mercenaries, which dropped on the battlefield, for their spouse and children to receive the compensation, they have to write and sign a non-disclosure agreement. It is crazy. And if the spouse of a dead U.S. mercenary in Ukraine speaks about where her husband, has died, she would not get any compensation. It is that bad. It reaches heights which it's unbelievable. Anyway, so the Democrats, they are allocating, they know they've lost the war. It's clear. We knew that, 2 weeks after the war started. And yet, they're just wasting US taxpayers' money. $6 billion they allocated to just basically nothing, to complete failure, rather than allocating it to the US citizen in order to better the homeless, to propose solutions. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. And one of the reasons for that is clearly to boost the military-industrial complex on behalf of, and this is why they want Ukraine to go in NATO. This is why they want, Sweden, Finland, Norway to go in NATO. Every time you have a country joining NATO, this new welcomed country has to change its weapons system. They have to adapt to new calibers, new cannons, new tanks, new planes, and so forth. So it's like 10 years worth of business for the military industrial complex in the US and elsewhere. And again, the politicians, they withdraw their taxes, their commission, their retrocession, name it the way you want, on this. And this is how they get rich at a personal level, abusing you. And into another video, I will tell you about what I call the third-party oversight principle. The third-party oversight principle is designed to give you access to every transaction made on your behalf. As in, you pay for a social service, you pay for a government, it is yours. It belongs to you. And you have a third-party oversight principle, a right to look at what has happened. And if we do that, as Elon Musk was saying, Earth will tell. If you have access to all the elements of a file, of course you can make a judgment. And if you don't, you're doomed. You have to content yourself with the narrative of, of biased journalists, which are themselves being paid quite often by governmental structures. It's mind-blowing. So, yeah, I could carry on like that for a while. Oh my goodness, it is so funny. No, it's not funny actually. It's not funny at all. I thank you for your benevolent and kind attention. Peace out.